Alright, what's up everybody? Actually, no, I don't like that. Hello everybody, my name is Christian, and today we are going to be doing a tier list review after I have not done this in a little bit, because the last one kind of did. Whoa! Yeah, it didn't really do that good. And also, this isn't exactly a series I'm super attached to, so I don't mind not doing it, but I don't know. It's been a while. A lot of stuff has changed about the game. I feel like this is probably a good time to finally do one again. I don't know, that's just my opinion, but like, I do actually feel like doing this again, finally, so I hope it does well, and I hope you guys are interested to hear all my thoughts and, you know, how the meta has progressed after a few updates and a lot of interesting characters and changes happening. Alright, before we get into the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff, and yeah, alright. Let's pause real quick and take a brief word from our sponsor, LD Shop. With so many good characters coming out soon, many players simply don't have the jades they need to get them all. Now, if only there was a cheaper way to get top-ups for games like Star Rail and ZZZ. Well, that's where the sponsor of the video comes in, LD Shop. LD Shop is a safe and reliable top-up site for all your favorite games. They offer top-ups at a more affordable price than in-game, and can even activate your first top-up bonus if you haven't used it already. All you have to do is click the bundle you want, put in your server and UID, and your top-up will appear in-game shortly after. If you buy using my link as well, you can get a 5% and 15% coupon good for $50. Last but not least, if you consistently use LD Shop and spend over $80 for the month, you can get an Express Supply Pass completely free on your homepage. Use the link in the description or the pinned comment. Thank you so much to LD Shop for sponsoring. Let's get back to the video. So if I wanted to look through the changelog, I would literally have to keep scrolling for an actual eternity, and that's really not in my interest if we're being for real, so we are going to go straight down to the actual tier list and just take a look. And yeah, I'll comment as I kind of see things that stand out to me. Everything looks familiar, but at the same time, everything looks a little off, especially once you scroll down a little bit. In our top tier over here, T0, we got Anexa, Archer, Casterus, Hysolins, Solo Evernights, and Finon. Yeah, I'm gonna be real, this comes as a shock to absolutely nobody, I think. I'm not sure if Archer was out when I first, or when I last did one of these. I think he was, but yeah, no, this character is actually disgustingly powerful. Like, oh my god. He is so good, and then Saber is also really good. I feel like Saber is slept on a little bit. I really like what she is capable of. It's pretty cool to see that they are both solid characters right now. The biggest thing for me is that DOT has had its full resurgence since I last did one of these videos, and I'm gonna be honest, it is the greatest moment of my entire life. Hysolins Kafka Black Swan is like one of the most fun lineups in the game right now. I absolutely love it. It is amazing to use. Hysolins completes everything that DOT is, and if they make another DOT character in the future like her, which I'm assuming they will, to kind of like slot in the place of Black Swan, oh my god, that's going to be cinema. I am so beyond excited for when DOT gets another kind of push, because it's going to be cool, so cool. I feel bad for all the other players who don't have DOT, because usually that sucks for them. But hey, I'm going to be happy. And that's what matters, chat. No, that's... So, moving on, Casterus and Finon, they've been up here for a while. They're going to keep being up here for a while. A while ago, Predwin switched it so that characters are assumed to have S1, so yeah. These two with their optimal teammates and S1, yeah, they're not leaving T0, I'm going to be honest. And the last one to talk about for T0 DPS is Evernight. Now, Evernight is the same case as Casterus, where you really need your optimal teammates to perform at the level that you want to. But oh my god, she is so much fun. And she does a very impressive amount of damage. She is super nice for AoE scenarios. And in single target, she can lack a little bit. But if you get E1, E2, her strength literally just shoots up substantially. She is so good as a solo target DPS at E2, it's not even funny. I really like what Evernight is. I think she is so much fun to play with. I'm very happy about her placement being so high. We love March around here, chat. But yeah, so that all makes sense. I don't really have any issues with that. Moving on to support DPS, Kafka and Evernight. Shocker. Moving on. Apex characters in the Amplifier tier. all of these characters make sense. Sunday is the best for Aglaya and is a universally helpful support for Finon, Mighty, Saber, Anexa. He can be used for Archer. He's just super good. RMC is much in the same boat, and he offers true damage, which is still unbelievably good. I hope we haven't stopped appreciating that yet, that we get this character for free, because, oh my god, RMC is incredible. There's Tribby. Yep, Tribby is Tribby. And Saridra, who is really only good for like 2 to 3 characters, but yeah, she literally revolutionizes what they are capable of. The biggest thing that stood out to me when I was looking today, Robin is in T0.5. That's wild to me. Robin has been top of the top Amplifier tier for so long. So to see Robin in T0.5 is genuinely insane to me. It kind of makes sense, unfortunately. And I don't love that, but it kind of makes sense. So let's think about the best characters in the game. We have Finon, who can use Robin, but also he really likes having the action advancers. You have Archer, whose best teammate is pretty solidly Sparkle, and then you want, like, Silverwolf in most cases. You have DOT, who can make use of Robin, but also, if you have the initial squad of Kafka Black Swan Hysolins is extremely beneficial, and you don't need a support at that point. And then we have the HP scalers. Mighty, Casterus, Evernight. They don't benefit from attack buffs. When you really think about the current state of the meta, it does make sense why Robin has dropped a little bit. And to be fair, she's still 0.5. She's still an incredible character. And she is still one of the best characters in the game if you are trying to achieve low cycle clears, 0 cost, sustainless stuff. But yeah, Robin has dropped down after such a long time of being like one of the best amplifiers in the game, being the top of the top, and it's just kind of strange to look at, if we're being honest. I'm not quite used to it yet. Moving over to sustain, we have Hyacinth standing alone as the best sustain in the game. I cannot disagree. I really hate how Hyacinth is designed. I think she is one of the worst designed characters. No, at this point, I think she is the worst designed character in the game. But it is undeniable how good she is. She is an incredible character, and if you do not have her and you are an HP team user, you are literally cooked. You lose so much of the strength of those teams. So, yeah, Hyacinth, standing alone is the best sustain in the game. That makes sense. I do think all the other ones are still super good, but she's the best sustain for the best teams in the game. It makes sense. So now we move into 0.5, and this is where it gets a bit more interesting, at least a little bit in my mind. The Herda and Mighty, they exist in this weird spot where I think they're still really good, but man, they feel very underwhelming compared to all the other characters around them. Like, Saber and Aglaya. I think Saber and Aglaya definitely also lag behind a little bit compared to the top characters. But Mighty and Herda especially, if you do not have Eidolon investment, they feel quite a bit worse than everyone else. And it's just a bit unfortunate that that's how it feels right now. With the ideal teams and everything, they can still handle a lot of content super well. But for Herda specifically, I feel like the AoE shilling has been going down a little bit. Obviously, the fight against Lygus does contain a lot of AoE, so she's really good for that alongside Anexa. But I feel like AoE shilling is going down a bit now, and that means that Herda's ideal spot is kind of fading into obscurity. As for Mighty, he's just weaker. I'm sorry. He is just weaker than Casterus Evernight. And if you have those two characters and the ideal team for them, you're probably going to use that, and that leaves Mighty with absolutely nothing. Because there is not enough HP scaling supports in this game to have two teams for it. So Mighty has no specific supports, only for him. So you kind of just lose out on getting to use him and the other ones. You could use Saridra with him if you want. Like, technically that's an option, but yeah, it's rough, man. Mighty is one of the most disrespected characters in this game, and probably one of the most hated, it feels like. He gets absolutely nothing. He was the earliest HP scaler to come out, and now it feels like he's an afterthought. Because even compared to Blade is supposed to be not as good as Mighty, but Blade, you can get him off of 50-50 losses, which means you can get Eidolons for him. So then if you have the ideal team and you can get like an E1 blade, that performance level is so unbelievably good. I don't know, man. I hope Mighty gets anything to improve him. Like, Cyrene is going to come out next update. I hope Cyrene can really help Mighty, because he deserves it, man. Last but not least is Aglaya. I'm incredibly biased. I really like Aglaya. I think she holds up super well. I think she can keep up with even some of the characters listed above, but in terms of a consistency basis, I think all the characters above are slightly more consistent than Aglaya, and yeah, that means that she goes down there, they're up there. Alright, end of conversation. Moving on to support DPS, we have Black Swan and Anexa. This makes sense considering they are both just slightly weaker than, you know, the alternatives, because Black Swan, you should just be using Heisland. Heislands and Kafka are the more essential members of DOT. Black Swan is the afterthought for that. So if you have Black Swan, that's incredible. You have a really, really good team. But as long as you have those two, your team is more complete. So she's not quite in the T0 area. But all those characters working together, yeah, she absolutely deserves a high placing spot. Same with Anexa. He's fantastic in the support role for the Herda. Other characters can still kind of compete more than you would expect if you're specifically using him as a sub DPS. So I'm going to be honest, I would really just advise using Anexa purely as a main DPS at this point. But hey, that's just me. Overall, character's still really good. He works well in both roles. As long as you guys are happy with your character, that's all that matters. Moving over to Amplifier tier. We got Cypher, Bronya, Ronmei, Sparkle, and I already talked about Robin. So I don't know when the videos are going to come out, but I talked about Bronya and Sparkle in a video a little bit ago. I recorded it today, actually. And Bronya and Sparkle, they are up here because they serve really, really good characters. They're not actually that incredible. And I understand why they've been bumped up as a result of it. But damn, tier lists be messy. Because, like, I'm gonna be real, I think we can warrant slapping the partner tag on Sparkle, considering her best teammate by far is, in fact, Archer. You can use her with Finan and have success. You can use her with Anexa and have success too. But I think the match with Archer specifically is so far ahead of any other team, I think it could warrant a tag for it. Because I feel like she uses, because I feel like she loses a lot of her usability in those other scenarios. But that's just me personally. Same with Bronya. In most cases, you probably should just be using Sunday. But in the case of a Finon team, when you can use both of them, it works incredibly well. I have no significantly strong thoughts on Bronya. I don't think she's an incredible character still. I think she's good. The E2 Bronya propaganda, or the E6 Bronya propaganda. Actually, E6 Bronya is not propaganda. That's really good. But E2 Bronya propaganda, it's a very unique way to play the character. But at the same time, the average person cannot make use of that significantly in any way, shape, or form. And I still do just think you can get a lot of benefit out of just using other characters. So yeah, but hey, you can get Bronya off standard banner at least. That's pretty good. Ronmei has been up here in this area for actually months, maybe a year. There isn't much to say. Good on you, Ronmei. Last but not least, Cypher. Cypher is down here only because Tribby exists, I feel like, and that's okay. Honestly, that's okay. I think Cypher is incredible. She fulfills a lot of, like, filling in for good teams. She can work with almost anybody, and she can work really well with almost anybody. She's SP friendly. She gives a nice debuff. Her ultimate is one of the most unique in the game. Cypher really does offer a lot, so to see her doing well after she was doom posted so atrociously by the community feels awesome. I'm gonna be honest, we're skipping the sustains. They've all been in this same spot for a while. I don't see any significant reason to talk about them. There is one thing I'm going to point out. I think Aventurine stocks are about to be on the rise again. Because Aventurine is having quite a few bosses and fights lately where he's really good. I think Aventurine stocks are going to be on the rise. If you are a person who does not have Aventurine, I know we're getting a free Dan Heng PT. That'll probably already happen by the time this video's out. But even with a free Dan Heng PT, I think you should try and get Aventurine if the opportunity presents itself soon. I think his stocks are about to be back on the rise, like, pretty heavily. That's just my opinion, though. So let's drop down here. So now, oh yeah, there's a lot going on here. So in T1 DPS, we have Blade and Jingliu after their buffs. We have Fei Xiao, Acheron, and Yuna Li. Not much has really changed, but damn, it's so sad to see some of these characters down here. It is so depressing. And then especially the tier even below this. So, as per usual, I will say, Fei Xiao is a character who, if she is properly invested in, she shoots up automatically to like T0.5 at minimum, and probably T0, because investment with her is one of the most beneficial investments you can make in Honkai Star Rail. Her damage output becomes unbelievable. Really like Fei Xiao. If you are a big Fei Xiao fan, I would heavily recommend investing into her. I feel the same with Acheron. However, Acheron E2 does not hold the same value I feel like it used to, which is sad to say, but Acheron E1 doesn't, or Acheron E2 does not hold the same value. So nowadays, it's like, I mean, I guess you go for E6, because E4 definitely ain't doing anything for you. Really, if you're an Acheron fan, you should just invest in her teammates. That's the real trick. Get an E2 Hysolins, get an E2 Cypher, slap those two together with Acheron E0 S1, and then like a sustain of your choice, and you'll probably do pretty well. And I know people are saying, why are you suggesting Hysolins? I just like the pairing. I know there's probably a better one mathematically. Actually, I know there's a better one mathematically, but I like Hysolins. She's cool. They actually work very well together. I was doing some testing the other day. It's a very fun combo. As for Yuna Li, I'm gonna be real. I don't know how Yuna Li's still up here. What does Yuna Li do? Does anybody know? Does anyone know a person who plays Yuna Li and can talk to me? I have not seen a Yuna Li main in the wild for months. And I did a whole video talking about, like, characters that my viewers really liked, and Yuna Li was super high. Where the fuck are these people? How is Yuna Li still up here? Is she actually still cooking that hard? This is, like, the one area of knowledge that I'm so blank on, and I can't fix it. Somebody please help me. Moving on to support DPS, we have Jade, Topaz, Blade. I have no substantial thoughts. I know a lot of people always say that, like, Topaz shouldn't be that high when March and Moz perform better, because if you have, like, the light cone that Topaz uses and you slap it on either of them, it's going to be better. Yeah, I can't really say anything about it. I think Topaz is still a good character, but I also think March is incredible, and then Moz offers a lot to specifically a higher invested Fei Xiao. I want to know what Predwin specifically is cooking on this, like what the rationale is, because me personally, I would probably have March in the same tier at minimum. That is just my opinion, though. Moving on, we have Jiao Cho, Silverwolf, and Ting Yun. I think Silverwolf is incredible. I just think Silverwolf doesn't have enough ideal teams to warrant having her higher, and she doesn't have anywhere where she is the absolute top option. That's what limits Silverwolf. Because Silverwolf works well with Archer, she works well with Acheron, who's down here. Silverwolf can work with a Nexa too, and Castris. She just doesn't have anywhere that's super ideal for her, unfortunately. I like Silverwolf a lot. I think the buffs did amazing things for her, but there's just nowhere she really fits in, so she's ended up down here, and I guess that's understandable. Then we have Ting Yun. I'm gonna be honest, I love Ting Yun. I think she is a very, like, overlooked character. I still don't think she's this high, quite frankly. I think she should be a little lower, because she's good, but let's go back to some of the top DPS in the game. You're really only gonna see use for her with a Nexa and Saber. You really shouldn't be running her with the Herda. Herda wants a more universal support because you're also gonna have a dual DPS regardless. You can use her with a Galaya. If you don't have Sunday with a Galaya and you don't have U1, you're already kind of cooked, so that sucks. I just don't think Ting Yun has quite enough to warrant putting her that high. I know she can work with Finon as a replacement as well, but, like, Bronya. So, I do think it would be fair to drop her next to Fugue. Yep, that sucks. All right. Over in the sustain category, we have Luocha. He's not really worth discussing. He still does his job amazingly. You're going to get healed regardless. Good on him. This is probably where we're going to start wrapping up the tier list for today, because the off-meta characters never truly change. Like, you know, Yanqing's down here. You know Misha's down here. You know Natasha's down here. You know Welt, Yukong. You know they're all down here. T1.5 is genuinely so sad. We have Firefly Rappa. Right below them is Boot Hill. It's sad to see how far Break has fallen. Break with heavy investment is still incredible. E2 Firefly actually cooks up most of the game still. E2 Boot Hill with invested teammates slaughters bosses. E2 Rappa, same thing. She does super well. Any AoE scenario is absolute, like, it's a dog walk. And even against bosses, she does incredibly. But Break without any investment right now is actually so bad. It's so bad right now. You need Eidolons on a Fugue on your main DPS. You need Eidolons on something, or you're gonna just have an awful time, I feel like. Very unfortunate to see, but yeah, that's just kind of where we're at. I hope that Break gets a new support soon. I really hope that that's the case, because that'd be really nice to see. Because I really like Break. I don't like Rappa. But Break contains some of my favorite characters with, I love the Trailblazer, so Harmony MC. I love Fugue. I love Boot Hill. I love Firefly. I love her on May. Break has some of the most fun characters in the game for me, or like some of my favorites. So to see it fall off to such an unhealthy degree is just super depressing. So then in our support DPS category, there's Serval, which is specifically for the Herda, Mini Herda, which is specifically for the Herda. We have March 7th Hunt, Moz, and then we have Argenti, who is also for the Herda. I have no strong thoughts on any of these that I haven't already said before. They are fine characters and they are suitable replacements, but there is a substantial difference between this and the top options usually, so very sad to see. And yeah, they will probably drop off even further eventually because the Herda is gonna slowly fall off eventually. The reality of life is a harsh one. Now in the Amplifier tier, we have Fugue at T1.5, Harmony MC, and then Pela. Those two are in T2. I do genuinely think there's an argument for Pela to still be higher. However, we have Jiao Cho, Silverwolf, and Cypher, who all do Pela's job. It's a bit rough. It's a bit rough for Pela out here. I think Pela is still a phenomenal character to use, and you should build her if you haven't, because she can be a great slot-in option if you ever need it, especially, again, for something like Anomaly Arbitration. But yeah, no, if you have any of the other ones, they're probably going to be better than her, and that's super unfortunate. Oh, poor Pela. It only goes downhill from here. You had a nice stay at the top. As for Harmony MC, yeah. You kind of came in and already fucked him up. And now, yeah, it's even more that way. That sucks. I can't wait for the next, Trailblazer form to dethrone RMC. That's gonna be crazy. And last but not least, we have Fu Xuan in T1.5 of the Sustain category. I personally still think Fu Xuan is pretty good. Like, I like Fu Xuan a lot. I like what she offers because crit rate is just so valuable. And then you can lose to her now, so you can get her revive. And you can get extra crit damage on, like, whenever you have Matrix of Prescience activated. She's a fine sustain. She doesn't really work for some of the top teams, like Caster Severnite. That's not really great. You probably don't want to use her too much in an Archer team because she's not really SP friendly. Like, she's not SP negative per se, but she's not exactly SP positive either, so that you kind of lose out a little bit there. She's fine for an Anexa team. I wouldn't really recommend her for Finon team, but also Finon doesn't run with a sustain too often to begin with. You can run her with DOT, that's fine, but it's dangerous because she will need to skill eventually, and them girlies love using skill points. Then Mighty can't really use her. Saber you can use her, Aglaya you can use her, and then Herda's Herda should be fine with her, but yeah. She's definitely not bad. She still offers a lot in terms of those crit values, but damn, dude, there's just not a huge place for Fu Xuan right now. So she's kind of just been relegated to, yeah, you're good in theory, but right now it's a theory, so stay down here. I really hope she gets buffed. I think Fu Xuan is a character who is unbelievably deserving of a buff. I don't even know what they would do, but like give her some more offensive capabilities, because that was kind of the plan with her, is have her be able to do some damage while also sustaining. She was an early blueprint that didn't really work out. Like give her 100% built-in crit rate, Give her a bit more damage on her ults. Give her like an enhanced basic attack. I don't know. Just give her something, I feel like. It'd be a lot more nice if we're being honest. Yeah, scrolling through the back here, there isn't really much to say. Like, Don Hung's down here for a reason. Seala's still down here for a reason. Ratios sucks. Like, why would you use him over Fei Xiao, if we're being honest? Clara, Yunli exist. Himiko's never really had a place. All these characters, yeah, these have been here for so long. A lot of these characters need buffs. The 4 stars I know will not get buffed, which is super sad. But characters like Ratio, Seala, Argenti, and Don Hung IL, they all need something. They need something to boost them up into relevancy. Now, as per usual, there are other tier lists, but I personally just don't think they're as interesting. I also don't think people really care about them as much, so I'm gonna be honest, I don't really think we're gonna be going through these today. Alright, well, it's been a while since I've done one of these, but it's always just fun to yap about the characters and my opinions on them. I mean, my whole channel is based on it after all, so shocker that I like it. I hope you guys enjoyed this. We probably won't be doing it again for a while, but again, I was in the mood. What can I say? I was in the mood. Alright, well, I got plenty more good videos coming out soon, so I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.